Hey, what's happening? My name is Seth Meshko. I'm a 3D artist, and I've been experimenting with getting characters into Unity over the last couple of years, and um, been following forums and seen a ton of people with the same questions that I started off with when I was first starting to do this. And hopefully, this little video tutorial will help you if you are in the same boat that I was in. It's really complex process, and there's a lot of layers to it. I'm taking things out of Maya, putting them into Unity, and there's just a lot of little bits and pieces. So this is like the third thing in the series, and I'm just recording my screen and displaying, step by step, like the process that I have gone through to like make a viable character. I'm going to warn you, it's a little slow, and I make mistakes, and I show them. And I think that that's actually really valuable, because the best sort of educations that I've had while watching tutorials involve seeing people kind of screw things up and then explain it away, so that so that you actually know, like, how they messed up, why they messed up, and then also how they fixed it. I think that's incredibly valuable. If you don't, maybe look at a different tutorial, because you're going to be pretty bored. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to just show you what's going on with this dude so far. Okay, so we've got him out. He like starts in his T-pose, and then we can walk him around a little bit with some direction. Okay, but he just is. I'm now not touching the controls, and he's just walking around in a circle. Okay, and that's because he doesn't have anything to exit to. All he does is just keep on walking forever and ever. Okay, so that has to be fixed. Okay, so what we're going to do today in this shouldn't be too long. All we're going to do is we're going to create an idle pose and show how to build the tree that he can, so that he can exit into that. And I shouldn't say idle pose, I should say neutral. So just a kind of a neutral pose for him, and that he'll exit to, because the idle is going to be an animation where he's like hanging out and breathing, and I don't know, swinging his arms or shifting his weight or something. Okay, so I'm just verifying that my IK stuff has been turned off here, and I'm just going to go ahead and set a key on the IK stuff, because we're just going to want to rotate from his shoulder. Your rig may look very different from this. It may look very similar, who knows, but I'm not, this is not necessarily a rigging tutorial, although it will feature some stuff about rigging. It's more just about the flow of getting one thing into another. Okay, Maya to Unity workflow. Just dropping his shoulders down a little bit. We'll go ahead and key those. Okay, I'm going to just soften his hands a little bit so that he's not standing quite so rigidly. Go into object mode. Just make a little bit of a bend there. That's good. And I'm just copying values across his body. It really wouldn't matter if it was asymmetrical, but whatever, might as well. Okay, and that's actually all there is to it. Okay, so we've got 60 seconds here. Now, actually, I shouldn't say that. That is not all there is to it. When creating your clips, your animation clips, you want to key all of your body controls, and I have actually a whole ton of other controls, like for instance the toe controls and stuff like that, that should all have a key set on them at 0, right? And the reason why is because when you create an animation clip, it only creates curves for the controls that you have selected and created your animation clip for. Okay, anything that didn't make it in there is not going to be written. And so if you had animation on your character before you like layered on your animation clip, it would just maintain the animation from that other animation. Or let's say you had one, you were transitioning from one clip into another, and you didn't have all of those keyed, it would just treat the rest of the body as a static animate or non-animation, just a static pose, and it would only snap the things that were keyed in the new clip to the new animation. Man, I hope that makes sense. If you want to just take anything away from that, when you create a clip, key everything. Okay, just do that. All right, so now we're going to create a clip. We've selected his character set, okay, and then we're going to go into editor, create animation clip, man neutral, 60 seconds, apply. I already created that once, but whatever. Okay, looks like I didn't even think it would let me do that, but it looks like I had T-pose still in there. No worries. Okay, cool. So now we should be able to save that. And I've just edited out the bake part. I've already shown that in a previous tutorial or video, so just go check that out if you're not sure how to bake it. It's in one of the previous videos, and I'll just pick up in Unity. So first thing is, his T-pose has been his neutral or star pose, and neutral pose since the beginning. We're going to get rid of that. Yeah. Okay. And then we're going to get down into here, into animations, low density animations. That's what I'm calling my animation field right now. And then we're going to make sure that this thing's rig is done properly. And like, one of the things that you will sort of notice if you have it set up wrong is that it's going to do this dude, like this weird dude, instead of this guy, right? So if your rig is humanoid, it will show you that dude in the animation too. Okay, so just kind of a little heads up. It gives you a little heads up. And then in animations, it's going to be neutral stance, 0 to 60. I'm going to loop time for now. And hey, really quickly, I just wanted to point something out that I have seen people struggle with, and I forgot to kind of include this. In a lot of times, people think that this is the thing that you drag into your animator, right? And I actually think it works now. Man, I don't know. That's questionable. I don't know. It's in neutral stance 0. Maybe it's just renaming it. Once upon a time, if you did that, it just really wouldn't work. I wanted to call this out, and it's really important when you get into things that like you've reversed and mirrored. In here, what you're actually, this is the main, node of what this thing is, this character with this animation. In it is an animation clip that shows up in the hierarchy. Okay, that is actually the thing that you want to drag in. Okay, like I said, apparently Unity kind of fixed that, and now that it just would seem, and I don't know that this is true or not, that it just extracts the most logical thing out of that and puts it in here. Okay, but once upon a time that didn't actually work, and so I just wanted to kind of make that. And like I said, I don't even know if that actually does work. I kind of assume that it does because it named it the proper thing. But anyway, just a little aside. So back here in here, we're gonna, let's change this to walk. Oops, walk blend tree. No, that's not where you rename it. Okay, walk blend tree. Our neutral position, neutral stance, is going to actually be our Then from our neutral stance, we're going to want it to go out into our walk blend tree. Okay. Now this is where things start getting complex and people start getting really lost, and it's understandably so, because like the reasoning here is not super straightforward, and it can just, you can get super lost super quick, and end up with something that you don't want. And hopefully people don't quit at that time, they stick it out and try to figure it out. But I'm going to try to explain this to you in the best way that I can. And I think, judging from what I've seen posted on forums and stuff, the first mistake that people make is to not consider the and or quality of the structure of transitions. Okay, so right now, anything that I add to this, I'll go ahead and just add it. So I'll do, first off, has exit time. We don't want has exit time. What does has exit time mean? It means that it would play through this entire time and then transition in, regardless of what was in our parameters to change it. Okay, so it would just say, no, I want you to play that all the way out and then consider this. Okay, so has exit time, you want it to be off on anything that you want your character to respond quickly to. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna add speed is greater than 0.01. Okay, so that's that. Once our joystick is forward, we want it to transition into this. Okay, I think what people usually then do is they're like, okay, well then that's, that's how I want it to transfer into speed, and then I'll also want it to do it when its direction is greater than like 0.01. Okay, and then I'll want it to do it when speed is less than 0.01, right? Because these are they're just like saying, okay, this is speed, him going forward in a positive direction, or backward positive direction, or side, that's the horizontal axis. This is the vertical axis. This is speed as he's walking forward, and this is direction as he's walking side to side. Okay, so, and people are like, they build these things up, but what this is saying is and. Okay, so since these are in the same transition, it's saying speed greater than 0.01 and direction is greater than 0.01, and then they'll keep building. They'll say speed is less than 0.01, or no, I'm sorry, negative 0.01, or I'm sorry, greater. Oh no, yeah, that's right. Ooh, it's even confusing me. Negative 0.01, right? And so, but what we've done here is we've created actually an impossible situation to get to. It can't do this because these are all ands. Okay, this is an and statement. All right, so you don't want an and statement. You want an or statement here. So this is the only one that we want in there first. Then we want to make another transition. Okay, that is speed is less than negative 0.01. Okay, so now he's transferring it to that blend tree when it's either or, when it's far forward or far backward, right? And then we're going to do the same thing with distance. Create a transition, and we're going to go when direction is greater than 0.01, and also make a transition when direction is less than negative 0.01. Okay, so now we've got all of these up here. See these transitions? These are all on this little arrow right here. And we've got them all set up so that they're all individual transitions, and they're all saying or. If this, or this, or this, and I'm just clicking off has exit time, or this is true, then go into here. Okay, and then we'll want, but you know what, let's just test that. Actually, let's not even go any further. Let's just try that out. Okay, push play, and I'm pushing forward. Oh, look at it, it works. Great. Okay, cool. I'm pushing back on the joystick, like that's not actually creating anything because we haven't made animations for any of that stuff yet. But anyway, it's working. It's working better. However, you'll see that he's still staying in his walk cycle, even when I have no pressure on the joystick. I have no pressure on the joystick. He's just walking around in a circle. Okay. So we're going to want him to also exit back out into the neutral stance. So this is like the perfect illustration here. These do need to be and statements, right? So we only wanted to exit into neutral stance when none of these are true, right? So we'll click off has exit time. Okay, we will go ahead and we will say when speed is greater than a negative 0.01, all right, and speed is less than 0.01, okay, and direction is greater than negative 0.01, and direction is less than 0.01. Okay, so now what we've done is we've created this really tight little bracket in the middle of our input, right, that allows for this guy to exit back out into his neutral, but only if all of these criteria are true. If any one of them is is carrying him outside of this bracketed area, he's going to stay in walk. Okay, so let's go ahead and test that and see what happens. Okay, so we'll push play, and then we're going to walk him around, and then when we're done walking, he should just go right back into his neutral position. Okay, cool. So that's it for this little segment. This video is complete. Just really kind of showing how you rationalize what it's thinking about and stuff here, and how you might build the animation tree from Maya. He's like creeping up. There's an issue with his rigid body, I'm sure. So we'll get to that next time. All right, man. Thanks for watching. Please like this video. Please let me know. Give me any feedback that you want. I know that it might be a little trying watching me do all of this stuff step by step in an unedited fashion, but again, I think it's really valuable. So you can see more of me and get in contact with me at 3danimationartist.com, and I'd love to hear from you. Thanks a lot.